I'm a member of the St. Louis School Board, and I knew without a doubt that education was going to be tops. And I also knew that race was going to be an issue. And I'll be brief because I know there are quite a few. I've been here since 10:30 this morning because I wanted an opportunity to speak because it's important to me. I have one homemade sign. You have to excuse my penmanship. I'm an ex-St. Louis police officer. Don't let the long hair fool you. And I was a good cop. I was a strong cop. And the killing of my people in my presence wasn't allowed. Beating them, harassing them wasn't allowed. And there are some that even remember some fights that I've had in police station in uniform with other men with guns. That's a horrible sight. But I won't dwell on that because you can be a black man and you can be a police officer and you can serve your community. And Officer Friendly was a part of our program. I'd sure like to see it come back. But let's very quickly, I was also the founder of a charter school called Thurgood Marshall. That was my school. And I got a butt whooping up there on Goodfellow like you would never believe when Thurgood Marshall was overtaken and seized from me by Imagine Charter School Management Company, was ultimately put out of its town. And I'll be very brief. Race is a factor in all things. And since this situation with Normandy High School, I've been in an attempt to finance another school. I got up off the ground after that whooping I took, and I put together another school called Harriet Tubman. But as race being a factor, and I want to say this to this commission, men and women of color are not allowed the same financial opportunities and access to capital. And I'm one that believes and feels very strongly that we should be involved in educating our own. We own nothing in our community. We don't own the gas station. DESI has failed us. And right now, the person who ran DESI into the ground is going to choose her own successor, and without a lot of transparency. But what I want to say to this commission is, open up some funds so that we can build our own institution. I no longer look to DESI to start another charter school because they've made it very difficult for those of us without funds. So what Bill Monroe is looking for, I borrowed $2.5 million when I opened up Thurgood Marshall, and I paid it back in 3 years in spite of the charter school management company that disrailed me, that took me out. And I can do it again. What our community needs is real dollars. We don't need $200,000 or $300,000 sent over here to this program, or $100,000 sent over. We need real schools. And the school that I've designed called Harriet Tubman will address the real problem in our community: crime, homelessness. I don't know if many of you know, in St. Louis City, they spend $2.5 million every year to transport homeless children. And they do it out in St. Louis County. We have the ability to educate our own children and bring them up in a way consistent with reality. And I don't care if the child doesn't have a father or a mother. If we can design programs that we can go to the moon, certainly we can design curriculum to address what our children are going through. And the key to what's going on right now in our community and the need is for education, skills, and job training. I've passed out a flyer to all of you guys, and I think one of somebody smiled when I said that Bill Monroe is looking for an angel. Well, I am looking for an angel. I'm looking for an angel investor. I got a drawer full of rejections in my house where banks have said, well, Bill, it looks good. It looks good. But no, we can't do it. Okay? I'm looking for a collaborative partner to say, Bill, we're going to front you $2.5 million for the 6 or 7 months it takes until the money starts coming from the state. And that's what we need. We need institutions in our community to educate our children, and when they graduate, they don't have to go to Vatterrock or some of these other predators out here that's taking our children's money. We have the ability to educate our children, and when they leave after 4 years, they'll be able to go into a job. We can train them, and the curriculum that I've designed has to do with working a half a day in education and the other half in jobs and skills. And I'm going to relinquish this microphone to my other friend and activist, Brother Cleo. Thank you.
Mr. Willis?
Hello, how you doing? You meaning everybody. Dig. I first want to give honor to God on the set. I really appreciate God. I want to thank him for his son named Jesus. Dig. And I want to thank Jesus for his most mighty grace. I want to thank him for slapping beer out of my mouth, slapping the marijuana taste out of my mouth. You did a long time ago. Because now I can see clearly now that the clouds is gone. I want to thank Jesus for introducing the Afro. You dig? And there's nothing wrong with it, because Black Think Tank always said what's needed for our black youth are role models, positive role models. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Reverend Jesse Jackson, Fire Chief. Isn't it all right? Isn't it about time for us to say, you dig, that Jesus, not just our Savior, but our brother. We supposed to be so barbaric and don't love one another. How will you feel if you've been oppressed and depressed and repressed over and over again, and this most monstrous institutional beast called racism made all kinds of powerful, positive moves to transfer reality into fantasy and Jesus from black to white? Let me tell you something. If I have a Bible, and in my Bible, everybody in there is black, and I feel so good when I read my Bible. How you think a black brother, a baby from the cradle all the way up, how you think that man would feel realizing spirituality and black experience? And before it was Africa, it was a land for all people, Ethiopians. For that, it was land for Cush and Kemetic people. We was in tune with grace. I can be on one side of the river, the largest river in the world. You can be on the other side of the river, Nile River. You can whisper to me, I can whisper back to you, because God made me, God made you, God made the river, and we was in tune, so in tune with grace, and we've been separated from that. And I feel good when we really start laughing and rapping about ethnocentricity. Former board member of Southern Christian Leadership Conference, also served on that board was Maurice Chambers. Maurice Chambers served on that board, and he also served on the Kerner Report. I was glad the Kerner Report was on the board. Go back and check it out and look at it. There is no need to reinvent the wheel. Look at the Kerner Report, study it, and then move in another area. Move in an area about unionism. What was union all about? Union was developed because they was afraid that blacks was coming out of slavery, who was going to be free, and they created a union. It was the white cotton people created the union to make sure that the slaves and all the trade don't come into the working field. We got that today. The city of St. Louis, the state of Missouri, the federal government put money out there to create jobs. The union controls all of the jobs. They determine who goes on the workforce, who comes out on the workforce. There is no statistics in terms of the hardcore racism that black youth experiences today, black males experiences today. There are no blacks on the executive board, in the trade unions. Look at all of the executive trade unions. They control the jobs. They have an interest that we don't control the job. So we come out here and we march. We talk about, well, what about black on black crime? If the jobs are here, the union controls who get on the job. They make sure blacks don't get on the job. They make sure we stay in the ghetto. Then we can now talk about black on black crime by white design at every level and at every degree. Life is about God and a job. Take the job and you take God away from us. And wherever we all agree and say Jesus was a brother, how many of us learn to start divorcing Jesus? So it's so important that we work hand in hand, spirituality and jobs. Now we're going to back and back about Michael Brown. Michael Brown got off because of the goals and objectives of the police department, the police association today, because the brothers came out with their hands up, and now that association is getting ready to move against the brothers on the Rams football team. So we got some problems here. This whole piece about institutionalized racism, trying to make us feel small and look small. And every time they try to get involved in the appropriation budget, whether it's federal or state, they always talk about welfare. They always talking about us. Let's take some money from us. Welfare was not designed because of us. Welfare was designed because of England. England created the welfare system. It came from them first. It came into America when there was a civil rights. Civil War was about to take place. And when the Civil War was getting ready to take place, when the Civil War in fact took place, that's when they came up with the welfare system strictly for the white women.
Okay, Mr. Willis, we got to let other people speak.
I am so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. Where am I?
Thank you. Okay, we have several people who want to speak, so be mindful that others, and you have 60 seconds. Yeah.
So they watched this young man lay outside for 4 hours, and they saw continued disrespect after disrespect after disrespect, insult to injury upon injury upon injury. And to ask people to come here and have an open mind and an open heart to you all, to many people who they do not see as a part of their community, they don't look at you and see you as their neighbor. You guys have to understand that. And the reality of it is that you have to do some work to build that trust. One meeting is not going to be enough, and having it be open and live streamed and all of those things, it's not enough, because the reality is the conversations are happening on the parking lot. You want to know what the commission is? The commission is happening at Andy Warren parking lot. The commission is happening at Canfield. The commission is happening on the subway and on the buses. Everywhere that you all are not is where the commission is happening. So if you want to understand how people feel, get out of the seat and go into the community. You want to know how people feel? Ask children who have to walk home and break into chants when they see police officers. You ask those mothers how they feel, because those moms are not here because they're at work right now trying to feed their children. I have a degree. I come from a great home, but I am just as frustrated as everybody else that's here. Because where I come from, this wouldn't have gone on that long. I'm a native Washingtonian. I'm from the suburbs of Washington, D.C., and black folks with a lot more power there because they have money. And that is the difference here. As many people have said, the people here don't have the money to pull on you all and to pull on the politicians the way that they need to. So if you guys want to build a trust with them, hold meetings where people can get there, go out and do the work so that people know you beyond the resume, beyond the soundbite. Do that work, and then we can begin the larger work, because then they will trust you.
Come on.
I can say it to the fellas out there. It hurt to know that my tax dollars is going into you treating me like, hey, I'm just me. Lock him up. I pay my taxes. Most of my places, right? But other than that, I mean, seriously. It's not necessary to treat me like, hey, man, we gotta find something on. You know, I've been stopped just because, hey, you know, I got this little beer and it smokes a little. I got my seatbelt on, I'm sticking it, there go the lights. I'm doing 34 miles an hour and I'm pulled over. Yeah, well, just checking me for nothing. You know, you got any drugs on you? How you gonna ask me that? What you pulled me over for? You know? And I just want to go straight to the Mike Brown issue. The interaction with police in a violent manner sometimes is not necessary. It just isn't. I know sometimes y'all get with people and man, they go crazy out of nowhere at a snap. But you and your brothers have to remember that your family, the police, your family, you have cousins who are residents, who are not police people, who getting brutalized and thrown around like they just meat. And hey, that's your relative, you know? So it's happening to everybody. It's man, I'm telling you, check out YouTube. You'll see white folks, black folks, Asians, I mean, just swimming around like nothing. So if there's anything that I would like to see from the commission is to get with your police brothers. Because I know Dan Ice and this sergeant right here, y'all got them right there. They're looking at you like, nobody move on him. You know, they have your back. But we need to know as taxpayers, do you have ours and will you treat us respectfully? Because I'm going to tell you, I know some people feel like Ferguson was they were right, they were justified. Some people feel like Nixon did the right thing. No, man. He put the National Guard at the wrong place at the wrong time. And then put the police at burned out buildings like, yeah, we got this. You got garbage. There are other small businesses in the area that need to be protected. And I know some of my people, man, they went crazy. But I just want to say, please do something about the interaction with police and the citizens. We need respect.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Ashley Bernal, that's A-S-H-L-E-Y, Bernal, B-E-R-N-A-U-G-H. I'm speaking to you as a fairly new resident, a first-time homeowner, a wife, a sister, and a mother. I have a very diverse family, and I want our brothers and sisters and those not related to me to be safe. And so I come to you today for two reasons. The first, remind us of how we got here, which I think folks are aware, but there are some points that I think will be well for everyone, whether folks want to admit it or not. But the reason folks gathered was because of the brutality of the brutality. When someone is allowed to lie in the street and their mother is not allowed to approach, it is hurtful. It is hurtful for the whole community, and it is reminiscent of things that I thought we were long past. When we came out on August 10th to demand accountability and demand answers, which we were promised that night, and that's why folks went home, we were then again marched from one building to the other, and to the other, and to the other, and when we demanded to enter our own tax dollar paid facilities, we were turned away. You can hear us screaming in the background to let us in. And until you let young people like us, like folks that are standing out front in the freezing cold or the burning heat, access the government that we are entitled to access, you will continue to see people in the streets. You will continue to see the businesses disrupted. You will even begin to see the fires of real flames in real businesses, because if you don't give people a real outlet, the ones that the Constitution said we are allowed to have, then there will be no justice and no peace, because only peace can come from justice. I want to remind us the difference of justice versus mercy. Mercy is something we give. If I needed a piece of paper, honey, I got you. But justice is something that we are all due. It is something that is right. It is something that my children deserve to go to school. It doesn't matter that I'm raising a little black boy. He deserves to go to a school that will be accredited, that will be able to be a grown and productive and successful young man. And so with that, I issue a grave warning to the commission today. We know that you, in your heart, want to do great things. You want to see positive change for this community. And we know that your brothers and sisters in power will try to stop you. They will try to stop you by enticing you with money, with special loans, special buildings at your churches, special donations. We know that they will try to entice you because they do it time and time again to commissions. They take your findings and they shelve them. We won't let them do that to you as long as you will commit and you will take our people power and put us to work. We will be your backbone, and we will hold those feet to the fire, as painful as it may be for all of us. Because our lives and the lives that don't look like me all depend on it.
You got some passion.
It's hard not to be passionate when you see little boys and girls dying in the streets, when you don't know that you're going to be safe driving with your husband. When we first moved up, I laughed at my husband for telling me we moved to a police state. I told him he was wrong. I told him, how could St. Louis, the big city, we moved from Kentucky, how could this be worse? And then I saw my crowd lay on the street, and I knew we had gone backwards in time. But I won't stand for it, and I know y'all here won't either, and I appreciate your time, and I appreciate you hearing my passion, and I appreciate every single one of you today, and I hope that you will get out of work and know that we are
Can you take the 17th member? That's right.
I've been in education for 80 years. This ain't working. I don't know publicity here, but anyway, that's why. Pete here. Yeah, you know, St. Louis is the most racist city in the country. Read a book. Read a book that goes back to World War II. It's called Mapping Decline. Some of you have read it. Good. And it's true.
Going on in my city, Denver, Colorado, where military and police officers are being trained. There's a full-blown camp that's been set up to train them on how to deal with black or so-called African Americans. Okay? And I just really want you guys to understand how important that is, because this is the ultimate plan. A lot of people wanted this brother not to really say too much because he started taking us back to the past. And really what you guys have to understand is this is 379 years of problems and issues, and nobody really wants to bring up the real issue, which the brother went all the way back to. But we have a real issue here where, one, the Caucasian race and the Caucasian people of this Western Hemisphere are in debt to the black people that built this nation up on their backs. They're in debt, period, point blank. If nobody wants to admit it, that's fine. I'll be the young black guy that does.